Number 5 seed in the West, the Dallas Mavericks have claimed the Western Conference, while the number 1 seed overall, the Boston Celtics, have claimed the Eastern Conference. And so now, my friends, it all comes down to this. We are at the NBA Finals. We're here. Welcome back, or welcome to America Sports. We've got the NBA Finals at hand. We have finally made it. This video is written, produced, edited, and sponsored by me at America Sports. More information about America Sports at the end of the video if you care to listen up. So let's get right on into it. One hell of a long NBA season, and we are here now. It will or should come as no surprise to you that the Boston Celtics open up as the favorites for Game 1 and for the series. As for Game 1, the Boston Celtics are favored by 6.5, and that hasn't really moved at all since the spread first came out. The Celtics are a minus 225 to win the series. And you can get the Dallas Mavericks for a plus 185 to take them for the series. Plus 210 for the money line in Game 1 for Dallas. Without a doubt, the Celtics have the best starting five in the NBA. Jaylen Brown was their most outstanding player in the Eastern Conference Finals, and he was well deserving. But I honestly can't help but love where Jayson Tatum has taken his game. Yeah, the points are down a little bit compared to last year, but this is a better team. And to me, it shows that he was able to mesh very well with other stars. In particular, his rebounding in the playoffs has been the best that I've ever seen it for him. He's been their best rebounder and a big difference maker in this regard. And I don't think that gets talked about enough for him. Meanwhile, honestly, what we saw from Luka in the Western Conference Finals was legendary. To me, it's even worse than what he did to Phoenix a couple years back. I could throw out really good film of Luka for days on this channel. And if they happen to win it all, I just might. But I want to shine light on the others, as Shaq would say. I maintain that if Dallas doesn't make the trade to get Gafford and PJ Washington, they are not in the NBA Finals today. Credit must be given to that front office and to the players, as they have turned into the best defense in my opinion. And they took down 3 really good defenses to get to the finals in the first place. It's been a real tale of two halves for the Dallas Mavericks, as Dallas beat Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals in just 5 games, and they're also 8-2 in their last 10 playoff games overall. And as for the Boston Celtics, they swept the Pacers, and they are 9-1 in their last 10 playoff games overall, and they've pretty much been about this good all fucking season long. And yeah, that is with or without Porzingis. Porzingis, I think, just takes him to another level because of the rim protection, the three-point shooting. I mean, they're just insanely good with or without him, but really with him. And it looks like Porzingis is going to be ready to go. Now, will he be 100% for that Game 1? I don't know, but the good thing for Boston is the first 2 games are in Boston, of course. And in the last round, I said that you are going to need Porzingis to win the NBA Finals, but you may not need him at 100% if you're Boston, to be honest with you. They are undoubtedly one of the biggest favorites that we've seen probably in the 2020s, to be honest. But Porzingis is the only one on their injury report, and I think he's going to play over on the other side for the Dallas Mavericks. There are no injuries to speak of, none that would take anyone out of the game anyway. And we all love a good storyline or two, don't we? Kyrie Irving going up against Boston, where it didn't quite work out for him in Boston, and Kristaps Porzingis again playing against Dallas, where it didn't quite work out for him in Dallas. I don't know about you, it seems kind of fun to me. Against Minnesota, Dallas made timely plays and timely stops. Yes, it was a 4-1 series, but 4 out of those 5 games were close. But they were able to get the job done when it mattered the most. In Game 1, they shot 24% from 3. Still won by 3. They also made Minnesota shoot poorly from 3 as well, something that hadn't been done by the other opponents up until then. In Minnesota's 4 losses, the best that they shot from 3 was 38% in Game 2. They will need to do this and even more so against Boston to be successful. As for the Boston series against Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals, it sounds weird to say that the Celtics stole one at home in Game 1, but that's really what happened. Game 1 was a huge kick in the nuts for the Pacers. They clearly were not the same team for Game 2, and really the Pacers had sizable leads in all except for Game 2 in this series. Even without Halliburton at home, the Pacers still very good at home, but they just blew the leads. And like Jayson Tatum said after Game 4, there is no lead that is safe in the NBA, especially the playoffs. But you would like to think if you're a top team that you're coming away with at least a couple of those if you're leading in 3 out of 4 games. Although Boston is capable of coming back, as we saw, it's not ideal. They do not want to be in that situation against Dallas. Alright, so we've got some unreal storylines and we've got some unreal individual play. Let's get into some team statistics here. And right off the bat, kind of as expected, Boston has had the most leads. Their point differential is number 1. Dallas is number 4 in the playoffs in point differential. Boston is number 2 in points per game, second only to the Pacers. That was also expected. Then on the flip side, when we look at defensive points per game, Boston was number 3 in allowing points per game. Dallas was number 4. And in particular, for the most part, Minnesota was able to keep up with them through 4 out of the 5 games, all except Game 5, really. And they scored in the hundreds in all 5 of those games. But yeah, man, Boston is all over the top 5 in the playoff rankings, all over them. In blocks per game, Dallas was number 2, second only to Philly, but Philly only lasted 1 round. We don't know what they would have done throughout 3 rounds. I'd say Dallas. I give Dallas the number 1 nod because they did it for 3 rounds and they were only 0.1 less than Philly, while Boston was number 4 in blocks per game with 5.4 blocks. Another couple of good things that is swaying in the favor of Boston is the fact that they have fouled less than everyone throughout the postseason, and they've turned it over the second least amount. This is something that I've not heard a lot of basketball or sports channels talking about, really. But I think this is a major thing in what they do. They're not just a pass it around and shoot the 3 kind of a team, although they do shoot a lot of 3s. And to me, if there were big differences here, I think this is where it would be, in the turnover zone. Dallas was bottom 5 in the playoffs in turnovers. They're middle of the pack in fouls per game, but a good solid 4 fouls more than Boston on average. Something that I also thought would come to bite Dallas straight in the ass is their free throw percentage has been the last of all the playoff teams. Them still being able to get to the NBA Finals is quite a feat, really. Of course, the percentages have changed every day, but it has pretty much been 60+% of the predictions have gone towards Dallas in Game 1 and for the series. It looks like a lot of people are saying Boston favored by 6.5 points is too much. If you're into predicting who the NBA Finals MVP is going to be, well, here's some odds right here for you. Odds makers are pretty sure it's going to be Jayson Tatum or Luka Doncic if Dallas wins the series. Jayson Tatum is a minus 120. Minus 120 is pretty crazy. Luka is a plus 210. Jaylen Brown, the third best option, plus 600. And Kyrie Irving is a plus 2,000. Something to keep an eye on there. And so, therefore, I do have to go with the favorites. I do have to go with Boston Celtics. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, getting their first ring. And obviously, Porzingis and Horford, too. You get it. By the numbers, they're almost 7% better from the free throw line. They turn it over more than 2 times less than Dallas. And they also foul more than 4 times less than Dallas. To me, these are the 3 biggest differences that would sway towards Boston being favored. So Boston, please don't let me down. I don't think you will, though. Which makes me, going into the finals this year, 10-4 against series. 7 of those 10, I predicted the exact game that the series would end in. Not as good as last year. Last year, I was 13-2 overall, but that's still pretty good. What I want to hear in the comments below is your thoughts. Don't wait until the series is over to act like you were completely right the whole time. Do it before the series starts, or at least before Game 2. It's the funniest thing in the world when I'm on the internet and I see so many people wait for the series to end for them to act like they were right the whole time. Don't do that. Comment before the series starts, and especially before Game 2, who's going to win, and tell me why. Best comment will win. To the people that have been subscribed, we are so close to hitting that first 1,000 subscriber mark, and we're pretty close to getting monetized too. If you are not subscribed yet, I'm hoping that you will make the decision to subscribe. It's completely free, of course. Either way, I cannot thank you enough for watching. I have so many plans for the channel for when we do get monetized and when we do hit over 1,000 subscribers and counting. I'm thinking about starting a weekly or bi-weekly sports show where we cover all the latest games and the latest sports that is going on at that time, so that way we can talk about all of the American sports. I'm also thinking about starting an America's Sports website after we get monetized, where there could be blogs and vlogs and polls, and I can actually interact with the subscriber more on that website. These are just some ideas that I'm throwing around that I want to get to eventually, really just so that I can offer more and you guys can interact more. So again, I just want to say thank you all for kind of making this happen, because if nobody is watching, then we don't get this possible opportunity. Alright, that's enough out of me. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and you'll catch me in the next one.